Family, I'm TSpeaks. Wanted to address a question that I'm getting more often than I have before, although I've gotten it several times. Now with COVID and so many people passing away and getting sick, people are wondering and questioning, why, God? Why'd you do this? Why did my aunt have to die? Why did my mother have to die? Why did I lose my job when I was depending on that job in order to feed me and my family? Why am I unemployed and cannot find another job anywhere? Why did I fail out of school when I gave the best I could? Why? Everyone is asking the question, why? So I figured let's take a moment to try to do what we can to understand or to unpack God, to gain some insight to the Creator, the maker of the universe, the chief puppeteer, if you will. I decided to let's get into it just a little bit because let's face it, we are losing a lot of people during this pandemic, and we've lost people due to gun violence. We lost people due to racism. We lost people due to cancer. We're losing people. And the reason why I'm using the loss or death is because death is final. You see, you can go through cancer and be okay if you recover. But if you go through and develop cancer and you don't recover, there's death on the other side of that. It is final. This is no dress rehearsal. This is the reality. People are questioning why, because you have people that are hungry. You have people right now that are unemployed. You have people that are homeless. You have people that are getting a divorce because they've been the victim of someone committing adultery on them. You have people that are in relationships that can't trust, and that's a whole nother topic. Why is it that God allows all of this? Because, and people say it like this, I can't, and I've heard people say this many times, I can't believe in a God that'll let a little girl die with cancer. She never did anything. I can't believe in a God that'll let my auntie die and she loved him and went to church every week and gave all of her tithes and offering into the church, and yet she ain't have nothing and she died of cancer. Or she had a stroke now and can't move. Why does God allow this, but yet he'll allow people, just people to prosper and become millionaires? Those that don't even call on his name. Those that are in sports, those that are just in rappers, those are all over the world. People that are doing shady business deals and making it work. I'm talking about, and they have millions. And they don't look like they're ever coming down. Like they are excelling at everything that they're doing. Why does God do that? Why would he allow these things? My younger sister passed away of cancer. She left 3 kids. I never thought about the significance of those 3 kids until just now when I said it. The youngest was 9 years of age. Why did God allow my sister, who was saved, to die and leave her kids? But her husband, who moved someone into the house 2 days after she passed away, is still kicking. Now, I'm not saying he should have died in her place, but we can make the argument, why would she have to die? Why if you go to St. Luke's Hospital or you go out here at St. Peter's and you go to the cancer unit, why is it you have little kids, 3 years old, battling cancer? Why do you have kids that are born with AIDS? And yet you have drug addicts who have spent 20, 30, and 40 years on drugs, don't look like they're ever coming down. Don't look like they are ever going to stop. Arms swelled up so high, more tracks on their arm than Amtrak. Why is it that God would do that? How can a God who's merciful and loving and caring and concerned about us, according to the Bible, how can he do that? Well, the best I can offer you is not necessarily an answer, but perhaps a way of considering and thinking about it. Oftentimes, we think we know how something should happen and why. Like, my aunt shouldn't have died of cancer. She loved the Lord, and yet she passed away. My uncle, who was married to her, was out there 3, 4 different women, whatever, making kids, whatever the case may be. Why did God take her and let him stay? Suppose God's way, it was a desire to get him, to call on his name. Who better to use to get the uncle's attention than the aunt? Who better? The aunt is the closest in proximity to him. They were married for so many years. The uncle saw her faithfully, religiously, going to church, giving her tithes. And he saw her pass away. And he's sitting quietly. And alcohol can't erase the thought. Smoking can't. Women can't. And he's sitting when all the noise has stopped. And he's asking God, God, take away this pain. I don't know why she had to die. And the guilt sets in. I know what I was to her. And I know what I did to her. And yet you took her. God, help me. And there it is. The fact that that uncle can stop. Number one, acknowledge that there is a God. Number two, acknowledge that he is able to help him. And number three, to ask God or to invite him in. Suppose that that was the seed all along that God wanted. Suppose that's who God was after. He already had the aunt and he wanted the uncle. Suppose the 3-year-old girl who's battling cancer will spend eternity in paradise. But God said, I'm going to spread out a net and I'm going to go fishing for your family, for your mother, for your father, for your uncles and aunts, and all of those associated friends that they have that will come to the funeral of my blessed child. And I'm going to use you in order to get them. That job that you lost, suppose God already has the seed, because everything God puts in us is in seed form. I'll say that again. Everything that God puts in us is in seed form. Suppose the seeds to own your own business are inside of you already. Paul said, I planted, Apollos watered, but it's Jesus that gives the increase. Suppose those seeds are only seeds and they need to be watered. Suppose you need to be made uncomfortable at your present job, like getting fired, in order to start going, I'm sick of this. Every time, what's in me? Because I have got to change my situation. And God said, that's right. And suppose he has someone that's going to come by in 3 days and go, you know what? You should open up your own business. And that person doesn't know the conversation that you had 3 days ago with yourself and with God eavesdropping. And now God says, now you're ready for that to be watered even more. So because I have you owning your own business and becoming financially independent and being able to create social change, economic change from the bottom up. You're looking for a hand out and God wants to give you a hand up. Suppose the loss of the job was only opening and broadening your mind to where you feel like you can have more and you will have more and you go after it. Suppose you can't seem to elevate on your job or get promoted and all of a sudden you start saying, I need to go back to school. And God says automatically, I've wanted you to go to school the whole time. You were too comfortable in your present situation because they were paying you. Take advantage of that tuition reimbursement, go to school, because when you get ready to graduate, I'm going to have you working at this firm to speak to this lady, Roxanne, who has a husband that's going to be sick. You don't know how God is moving it. I'm saying all of that to say, in Isaiah, your thoughts are not his thoughts, and your ways are not his ways, saith the Lord. You don't know which way God is moving, but be clear of this one thing. He is moving. And I want you to rest in him. When you don't understand, ask God to give you a bit of clarity. He'll never give you the whole thing, because many of us will run and go for it. He'll never give it all to you. Ask him to give you a bit, to ease your heart, to calm you down, but also ask him to increase your faith for that season when it's getting tight. When you don't understand, hold his hand. When you don't understand, continue to hold his hand. Family, he's not done. Just trust him. I'm TSpeaks.